My main focus throughout this tech startup series will be on microservice architecture, that's all, because that is really important. That's all I really want to put out. Comfortably. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my series Coding My Own Tech Startup in 2023. So I just have a quick update for you, and this video is going to the part 3 of my startup devlog basically. So I recently bought a ergonomic chair for me, and this is the chair I bought. And I just wanted to share something with you that when you do your startup, so there are a few minimum thing which you have to invest, which you have to buy, which you have to invest for your startup journey to make it more smooth. And because you are going to spend countless hours on a chair while coding for your startup, so you have to have a ergonomic or very comfortable chair for you, so you can spend 8, 10, 12, 16 hours on the same chair basically, being very comfortable. I mean, not a quantity of one sitting, but yeah, basically you have to sit for long hours. So it's really needed, and because I started having pain in my back, so I have to buy it. It's expensive, I know, but there are a few minimum possible which you have to invest somehow. So let's talk about the update of my series, how it is going on right now. So well, because as soon as I started, once I started this start working on my own tech startup, I realized that things are not that much easy. Like we see on the internet, there are many YouTube channels, there are many series like Coding My Own Tech Startup series, and they put their vlogs, that was basically. And we see them working, coding, and then going out and in, and then showing so many things, and solving their own problems and making a full-fledged startup or a full working startup. So I think it's easy. No, it's not easy. I'm going to tell the reality, because it's been a week since I started working on my startup, and still I'm just thinking about architecture, because I'm thinking so many things. I'm thinking what kind of feature I want to add, and based upon the feature, based upon the scalability I want to add to my startup, what kind of architecture I should use, or what kind of tech stack I should use. So somehow yesterday night I was able to decide the tech stack and the architecture also. But the thing I decided to choose or to move with are difficult, because I decided to choose microservice architecture with Nest.js, or most probably Node.js or Express, plain version without any framework. But Nest.js is just a framework combining Node.js and Express.js to make things easy for us basically. It's like you can write things in vanilla JavaScript and HTML and CSS, and then you can use React.js or Vue.js or Angular.js to make your UI. So you can use Node.js and Express.js separately, or you can use Nest.js. So I'm going to use Nest.js, and I'm going to use microservice architecture for my startup, because I know at some point of time it is going to be a scale, and even at some point of time I want to sell it. I want to ask for a high valuation. I want to deploy a good quality code base basically. And when I'll be hiring team, so it will be easy for me, and most of the time basically I'll be mostly my team will be remote. So I don't care whether they are working Java or Python. I just want to get my work done. So if I am using microservice architecture, then I don't have to force them to work on the same tech stack I'm doing basically. So that is the reason of choosing microservice architecture. I want my application fast, reliable, durable, and sustainable, and scalable. So I'm going with the microservice architecture that is decided. In backend, I'm going to use Nest.js and various other JavaScript libraries as per the need. For front end, finally I have decided I'm going to use React.js, and I'm going to use 18 or the latest version, whatever is possible. And I'm going to use Docker or Kubernetes, and at some point I might use Firebase. I don't know, but I'll be using Socket.js definitely. Socket.io definitely for the real-time updates in my application, and I'll be using Chakra UI. And yeah, that is in the first video of our tech startup vlog, I talked about all these things, but that was an rough idea. But today I'm very much sure that I'm going to use all these things. and I'm going to upload my application. I'm going to deploy my application most probably on Google Cloud. And after uploading my first video, somebody in the comments asked me that why you are using Nest.js and passport authentication. You are kind of reinventing the wheel, but no, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I will be using Google OAuth with passport Nest.js. I'm not going to handle all the authentication authorization by me, because I don't want, because I know that at some point of time my application will be having a payment service. So I don't want to handle the critical and the vulnerable information of my customers, of my users. So I will be using Google OAuth. So I'll be giving the responsibility to Google Cloud. So in this series, I'll be helping you with so many things, and I can help you with so many things like Docker, Kubernetes, Nest.js, microservice architecture, how you can build different microservices, how you can design a whole architecture, how you can design database. It's not easy, because my application is like kind of having a huge database schema and very complex. So I'm sure that I can help you with your startup as well, because that's my main motive. Like why keep repeating that thing, that I want to help you for your startup, because the motive of this tech series or the devlog series to help you guys with your startup. If you want to start your startup, tech startup, if you want to code it by your way or with your team, I want this series to help you a lot, because there is no reality on the internet. There are many series available to watch, but they are not telling you the truth or the reality. Help you a lot, that I'm sure with it. Okay, so if you really want to support me, if you really want to contribute to my work, to my series, then what you can do as of now, because I can't share you the idea, I can't make the project open source, definitely, for some obvious reason. So what you can do as of now, because I will try my best to help you with the microservice architecture mainly and the backend services. If you really want to support me, you can support me on Patreon, on my Google, on my YouTube videos. I have provided a link of my Patreon account, so you can help me in any way you want to help me. And I will love to read your comments. I will love to reply on them, and I will love to help you. Okay. Well, I think I talked about the current progress, because there is no progress as of now. The current progress is I have decided tech stack, architecture, database. For database, I'm going to use Postgres. Yeah, one thing I forgot to talk about in the last video. That's like which kind, what database layer or what database ORM I'm going to use. So I'm going to use Prisma. Yeah, with Nest.js Nest.js microservice architecture. I want to combine Prisma. Well, TypeORM is a very good choice with the Nest.js, because it has some decorators, which is almost same like Nest.js, like controller modules and services. So it's good. With TypeScript also, because it's mainly made for the TypeScript. But yeah, I'm going to use Prisma, because I like Prisma. Like you have a single file of for your all database schema, a huge file where you can put all your database model schema, and you can manage them, and you can basically use them. So I'm going to use Prisma for that. Now let's talk about microservices a little bit. So what are the microservices? So microservices, as of now, what I have understood, microservice is something basically when you divide your application in different services, like your application having 5 features: payment, order, cart, and shipment or inventory. So you can make 5 microservices with 5 different databases. So now these services become independent of each other. They are not dependent on each other basically, because they have their own database, they have their own functionality, they have their own way of working, but they have a communication between them. So basically, because that's needed, because a user will make an order, then making a payment, then will add product to the cart, then making a payment, then wait for the shipment. So all services are interrelated or correlated or interconnected, but you make them independent. So that's a trick. That's how the difficult part comes into place when we write a microservice architecture. Like how you define communication between the microservices, how you do data management is the most difficult part of microservice architecture. So that is all I am studying as of now. So the what I have understood as of now, basically it works like asynchronous communication, which is like event based communication. Like there are, for example, two microservices A and B, and B is subscribing for an event like login event, which happens in A microservices. So whenever in microservice a login event will happen, this service A will emit login event, and B, which is already subscribed to the event login, will be listening to login event. And as soon as the service A will emit event login, B will listen for it and do a particular action. Same, maybe the microservice B is emitting an event of like checkout or payment, basic checkout. So as soon as B will emit checkout event, if A is subscribing to this event and A is listening to this event, so as soon as this event will happen here, it will emit it, it will catch it or listen to it, and this will do a particular action or a particular process or a piece of code. So that's how it works. And for this communication, we use a message broker or a event bus basically. So that's why we call it event driven architecture. So what I'm going to use as a message broker is a RabbitMQ, and so that will help me to communicate between microservices. And from the next video, I will try to show you a little bit of coding, not of my project, but in general to help you how you can start or merge or set up a basic microservice project. So I'll try to do that in the next video. I'll try to help you how you can install Nest.js CLI, and you can how you can make more than one projects of Nest.js into one another, like a hierarchy project A, then B, then C, and how you can define a root project, how you can define this is a microservice A, this is a microservice B, this is a microservice C, how you can define different databases for them, how you can like emit events, how you can listen for the event, how you can subscribing for the event. So all those things I will be helping you since next video most probably. And I'm also planning to do some live coding in upcoming weeks maybe, because as of now I'm way too much busy with my job and this startup thing and my other Japanese channel. So yeah, so that's all I have done with my architecture, tech stack, almost database schema, basic flow diagram. I'm done with that. So now I just have to study microservices, and right now I'm studying two books. Yeah, so it's, I think, I don't know what's the time. Time is 6:32 p.m. So I have to wrap up the video here. My main focus throughout this tech startup series will be on microservice architecture. That's all, because that is really important. That's all I really want to put out. So yeah, see you in the next video, and I have to tell about you my current progress and everything else. So yeah, see you.